What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. This is Mike. I've got Nate, our creative director, and Tarik, our director of advertising at Youtech. And we are all at home in quarantine, but we're still coming at you this Wednesday. Fun fact, I am actually on an exercise bike because I don't have a good place in my home to do this video. I'm pedaling right now, and it's powering my computer. That was a lie. But I am at home, and I am on an exercise bike. So today we're going to talk to you guys about landing pages. Right now, I think more than ever, landing pages are a good conversation point because if you're running any kind of campaigns right now, you could be seeing some struggles, and that conversion rate is very important. And at the end of the day, you need those conversions to keep that ROI positive and keep it going. So we do want to talk to you guys about some best practices there. And with that, does anyone want to start us off?
Sure. Yeah, I'll kind of go ahead and start this off. Tarik can go a little bit more into detail some of the reasons for displaying certain things on landing pages, but ultimately you need something that's trustworthy for your users whenever they're going to your page, whether it be to buy a service or a good, whatever that may be. You need to make sure you have that cohesive brand with that as well. So you may be just asking people to fill out a form, but if it's just a form on a page, nobody's really going to want to do that. So the design team and the PPC team here at Youtech, we've actually gotten together quite a few times in the past to kind of come up with like a pretty cohesive plan for what works for landing pages. So I'll kind of let Tarik go into more detail what those things are, and then we can go in depth more a little bit on what we as the design team do to make sure that the stuff Tarik needs is easily read on one of those pages.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously running any sort of paid efforts is one aspect of digital marketing, but the other aspect is, yeah, you can create this beautiful ad, but where are people going to land when they click on your ad? So, we take a lot of time to kind of craft these landing pages that are going to give users the information that they're looking for, especially for paid efforts. What we typically like to do is, when we set up a Google campaign, we have our campaign, we have our ad groups, and then we have our keywords. And the most important thing to rank for our keywords is to make sure that the content on our landing pages are aligning with our keywords in our ads, so that our quality scores are high, and we're showing our ads are showing when people are searching certain things. So, it's different from industry to industry. Obviously, e-com clients are a little bit different because we're able to direct people straight to a product page. But more of our service clients, for example, HVAC, it's important that, when we're crafting these landing pages, we're providing the user with the information that they're looking for. So if a user goes to Google, they're looking for a new AC unit, not only will our keywords and our ads align with that service, but when someone comes to the page, we need to provide that user with as much information as possible to get them to convert. So, like Nate said, we've taken a lot of time and we've tested a lot of different formats and layouts of pages, and we've kind of come up with some things that we see higher conversion rates. We're doing a lot of A/B testing with all the pages that we're doing, but we've come up with a page structure that I think increases our conversion rates just by putting certain elements and certain designs and certain information into certain sections. So, like I said, it's what we typically do at Youtech is we create dedicated landing pages because not every client is going to have the structure that we're looking for. So typically what we do is, we put together all the content, we put together all the elements, and we craft a page that is going to help with our paid efforts. So again, that's kind of where Nate's team comes in and breaks out different sections of our website in order to accomplish that information that we need to provide to a user.
Yeah, and you brought up a lot of really good points there, but I think one of the biggest ones is just that relevancy all the way through.
Yeah,
from
totally.
The keyword that they're searching to them seeing that keyword in the ad to them then seeing that keyword on the landing page. That's going to be huge for them. Obviously, you don't want to take someone to a page on heating if you were advertising AC, right? So,
yeah.
So in that instance, we'd obviously create different pages for those. And the more specific you can get, the more pages you can create, the better off you're going to be. Generally speaking, users really are looking for one specific thing. And usually there's one specific action you want them to take when they get to that page. And that's something that really needs to be highlighted in the format of that page. So I know you guys both kind of mentioned these layouts we've created. I'd like to go into a little bit of detail as to what those layouts entail. Obviously, we have forms on all those. We've got phone numbers on all those. E-commerce is a little bit of a different story. I think we're specifically talking service-oriented clients right here, but it's really important that you got that form, and it's really important that you got that phone call so that, or phone number, excuse me, and it's really important that it's clickable too, so that people can contact you in a variety of different ways, depending on however they want to contact you. Maybe you've got a live chat as well, or even a chat bot if you can't have someone to man that, just so that however they feel like contacting you, email, form, phone number, chat, you've got all those covered. If you've got that, then you're going to appeal to a lot more people. I know in some instances there are businesses out there that say, well, we just want everyone to call. And that's okay. You don't need to have a form on your site, but you're probably going to have lower conversion rates because some people might not want to pick up the phone. So it's just something to consider. Do you want more leads and allow people to fill out a form and then you could just call them right away? Or do you just really want to get them on the phone and only want to put that phone number there? Maybe it's something you A/B test,
Yeah, and that's a good point. I feel like, depending on what the industry is or who the client is, with us with us and Nate's team creating these dedicated landing pages, we don't necessarily need to change the structure of a client's website. We're able to accomplish kind of what they're looking for in these dedicated pages. So like you said, if your business more so relies on phone calls than form fills, we're going to put different call to actions on the page that's going to make things easier for someone to call your business. Whereas if you're more focused on form fills, we're going to kind of craft that page and make that page in a way that a user can easily fill out the form and then have you follow up and get more information. So it's, having the dedicated landing pages, again, makes it very easy for us to kind of craft an approach that's going to accomplish what your business is looking for.
Right. And to kind of go off of a little bit of what Tarik's saying too, whenever it gets to the design team for those things, we want to make it as easy as possible for the user to actually get what it is that they're looking for. So we don't want people to, have to scroll through page and page of content, all of that in order just to fill out a form or call a phone number, because ultimately the user nowadays, they're going to get fatigued after just even a couple of scrolls down a page. So we want to make sure that, we know what the client's looking for, whether it's that form fill, the phone number, or even if it's to get them to, maybe go somewhere else on the website that directs them somewhere. But we want to make sure that everything is there as easily accessible for the user as possible. And with those scrolls that I was just talking about, we also make sure that most of the time the headers for websites, we make them to where they're always there. That's a really good place to put a phone number or even a link to a form fill out. So we want to make sure that, that information is always readily available. And then Tarik, I'll let you kind of talk more on this. Sometimes we'll kind of change that navigation on those landing pages in order to kind of lock them into one of those landing pages that we've already directed them to. That's mainly just so they don't get lost along the journey. So that way, if you're searching for air conditioning, like Mike said, you land on this page, that page is air conditioning related. You don't want to accidentally click on a link and you're like, oh shit, I don't know where I was. I don't know what I can do anymore. So I'll kind of let Tarik expand a little bit more on that, because there's other reasons for it as well. But that's just one of the main reasons that, that we do those things.
Yeah. So like you mentioned before, Norris, we typically like to break out our page designs into different sections. Obviously, the most important section to me is going to be that top section, because for the most part, people, I don't want to say people don't scroll and look through a page, but for the most part, people want to come to the page, find the answer right away at the top of the page. If this is right, if this is the right business that I want to go with, I'm going to convert. Sometimes that might not always be the case. So typically what we like to do is section one, we're kind of highlighting what it is that person is looking for. So if it is that new AC unit, we're going to craft that top section to address kind of any questions that that person might have typed into search. So for example, if it's new AC unit, we're going to highlight our new AC unit. If we have rebates, if we have any sort of incentives that'll get that person to convert right away. Typically then as you move down the page, we'll talk about the process of that business, what makes them different from their competitors, and then kind of what sometimes we put social proof on there as well too. I think that can also help a lot of people make a decision if this company has a ton of great reviews and a good user experience and good customer service. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm looking for things like that, or if I'm looking for a big project like that, I do read the reviews because that can help sway my position or decision on one company or another. So and then typically, towards the end of the pages too, we talk about the business itself. Obviously you can find that on the about page or who we are, but we try to highlight that on the page. So if we do have users that are reading the whole page, they're kind of getting a full picture of who this company is, what I'm signing up for, and what I'm going to get.
Yeah, I think that spells it out really, really well. And I want to go back to the social proof aspect, because I think that's one area where, if there's an area that people usually lack in when they're creating landing pages, I think it is that social proof. Well, aside from the people who don't create landing pages, because I think that's the worst problem.
That's the biggest problem, I think.
People are usually pretty good about understanding, okay, why would someone pick me? And then they create content to address that problem. But they often forget that people are more swayed about what other people say about you than what you say about yourself. Yeah. So if you've got a ton of great reviews, or you've got, let's say you've worked with McDonald's and you've worked with Starbucks, and you put that on your website, or 93 million sold or something like that. Like, oh, well, help 93 million people. I'm not going to go with Joe Schmo down the street who, him and his wife might come down here in their busted up truck. I'd rather have the experts coming over. So
totally.
I think that is exceptionally important, and testimonials can be used for that. Like I was just saying, you can use icons of companies you've worked with as long as they're okay with it. You can use reviews, star ratings and everything are really big. The cool thing too is if you're running PPC search ads through Google, you can oftentimes pull those star ratings through depending on which service you use, and they'll show in your ad as well. And that's going to help click-through rates. It's going to help conversion rates. It's going to help the whole shebang. So really big point, I think, with the social proof on there.
Yeah.
Anything we're missing before we wrap this up?
I think just one other aspect that I want to talk about is kind of A/B testing your landing pages, and kind of some tools that you can use to better understand how users are interacting with your page. I think A/B testing in general, we typically use Google Optimize, which allows us to put a little snippet of code on the page, and then we can change different elements of the page. So for example, if you have call to action buttons that are green and you want to test out how blue might affect your overall results, those are the little things that we can change out and test to see how people are interacting with it. Another tool that we use is called Hotjar, which is basically a heat map. Again, we put a script on your site, and what happens is that we're able to see where people are clicking, where people are scrolling, where people are hovering towards. And typically what we do is we run that for a couple weeks to a month. We gather all of the data, and then we kind of take a look at, okay, of the page that we just created, how are people interacting? Where are people going the most? What are people filling out the most? And then we're able to take that data and kind of apply it to our pages moving forward. So it's obviously different, depending on what industry you're in, but it's very valuable information that we do take into consideration when we do make optimizations on our pages moving forward.
Yeah, and it may seem like a small thing, changing a button color from red to blue or blue to red, but subconsciously, like, it does make a huge decision for everyone. So I think it's blue is now the number one or number two most clicked on color button for CTAs. So those things are very important. It may just seem like a simple color, but chances are you go to like a supermarket or anywhere else, you're drawn to colors. So those are a little bit more important than what people give them credit for. So
Totally. Think about, when you open your phone and look at all of your apps,
yeah,
check out what color most apps are. It's either green or blue because, people are running these tests and seeing what people are gravitating towards or what is visually appealing. And then they're using those and incorporating them in their, not only their CTAs and their landing pages, but also their apps that they're kind of pushing out
yep.
too. So.
Yeah. And on that note, Youtech's main color is orange, and orange is also up there in the top 3 for CTAs. So fun fact. But yeah, orange, red. I know red sounds counterintuitive to people because they think, red means stop. But the reason that red is on stop signs is actually because it grabs your attention.
Yeah.
And it's a attention-grabbing color.
Yeah, there's a saying like in the design community, to make something notice, make it bigger. If you can't make it bigger, make it red.
There you go.
So that's all you need to know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think you've said that to me before. But...
I've said it a million times.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time today. Obviously landing pages are so important. I can't stress it enough. Make sure that you're doing ongoing testing, like Tarik was saying. That's so important. You can't just set something up and forget it, especially in times like these where things might be a little bit rough for you. So keep going, keep testing, keep trucking. You'll figure it out. Run everything, and if you need any help, let us know.
For sure.
Thanks so much. Happy Wednesday.
Bye, guys.